Yes, we want to turn now to Idaho, where suspected murderer Bryan Kohberger is going to be returning to court tomorrow for a motions hearing. Our Court TV team will be there for it all. Kohberger is accused, of course, of fatally stabbing 4 University of Idaho students last November. On the motion docket is a defense request to ban cameras in the courtroom. That will take place tomorrow, but today is a big day. And our Court TV legal correspondent, Kaylee, who's been covering this case since the very beginning, is up in Coeur d'Alene, a couple hours away from Moscow, and there for a very special reason. Kaylee, hello, good afternoon to you. Today would have been Kaylee Goncalves' 22nd birthday.
That's right, Ted, and her family celebrating in a very special way. I have one of the posters they've been handing out across town. Kaylee Jade Day. Today she would have been 22 years old, and they're encouraging everyone everywhere to do more of what you love. And they even list on the poster things that Kaylee loved to do. One of those things was paying it forward by treating someone in the drive-through line behind you to a free coffee or a free meal. And that's where we are right now. We're in the Coeur d'Alene area where I spent the morning with Steve Goncalves as he made several stops dropping off cash to help these local businesses who have helped him and his family since Kaylee's death give it back to the community and honoring her, keeping her and the other victims at the forefront of this story. I'm outside of Renee's on Ramsey. They have been bustling busy all morning long at this coffee shop, and I have one of the workers here who actually grew up with Kaylee Goncalves. This is Shayla Anderson, and Shayla, you were here with me when Steve was with me and handing out cash. How was it to see him on such a special day like today?
Oh, it was so good. He was in such high spirits too. You could just tell that he was feeling good about doing something good, and that's the whole point of days like this. We're just trying to spread some positivity.
Yeah, and keep the focus on what today and this whole story really is about, and that's Kaylee, Maddie, Ethan, and Xana. And you had a unique perspective because you grew up with Kaylee. Tell me about that.
Kaylee and I grew up together. We went to high school together. We spent a lot of time in these lines here at this stand. So yeah, it's been really nice that my boss has even allowed things like this to happen, to be involved. Even all the little local businesses, just being very involved. So
that's what Steve was telling me. He was telling me that when this happened, businesses like the one you work out here would provide meals for the family. They would be there, whatever they needed. And he said that this shop really did a lot. Were you hearing a part of that when it?
Yeah, we were able to do a donation day when everything kind of first happened in the first couple months. So we did do a donation day and just kind of held a spot where our customers and people of the community could come and drop off their donation. But we were just a spot. We weren't even giving anything back that day, but the huge turnout that we had, and nobody was getting anything in return. So it was a really cool experience.
As soon as we pulled up at your destination earlier today, we see the poster that I just held up of Kaylee. Everyone that drives through here, there's cars in this line all the time.
Yeah.
I know it's busy and you stepped out to be on with us, but you're making sure people know what today is, and you've been giving away coffee. Tell me about what people are saying about that today.
I mean, they're excited, they're happy, and they just can't wait to drive out and spread some more love, spread some more kindness. Yeah, everyone's thankful, but they're excited to get their own hands dirty too.
Sure. When you said, okay, this is free, this is an honor, what did they tell you?
They're very thankful. They kind of ask where it comes from, and it does come from the families. Maddie's mom also dropped off some money as well, same with Steve. So we let them know that it is coming from the families and that they're wanting to give back because they recognize what our community has done as well. So
hoping that it continues from there, that those who are given something continue to give on.
Yeah.
And you said Maddie, there was a Maddie May Day too in May for her birthday, and you guys participated in that as well.
Yes, we're just trying to stay as busy as we can. We're just trying to keep up with all the events, but we're just trying to keep their memories alive, and that's how you do it, is by these acts of kindness and these little things. So
yes, absolutely. And you actually you're wearing show us this sweatshirt. This is a special shirt. Tell me about it.
So this is Tara Stitches makes these. You can find them online, just stitches.com. But it has all of their names on the back of them as well, or they have the individual names. on the front. They have released some new T-shirts and hats as well on their new website. So that's exciting. Some new wear to wear.
And then, how shocking was that this happened?
Oh, it was extremely shocking. Nobody believes it at first, even now. Oof, sorry. Sorry, your question.
Okay. Take your time. No, I think that answers what I asked you.
Yeah.
How difficult this has been, how shocking this has been.
It's very shocking. It's exciting to see all the everything that she's done, though. All the people mourning. So many people, so many lives were touched by these 4 people. So, yeah, it's just exciting. It's a good thing. It's so bittersweet. It's so very bittersweet. We're excited to be able to do something, but the fact that we have to do something to spread the love, to overrun the hate, it sucks, but we get to do it, and we're excited to do it.
Yes, and we thank you for doing it and
Thank you.
honoring Kaylee in this way and helping bring her alive a little bit more for us here on Court TV. We'll talk to you, all day. We're going to be hanging out at your coffee shop here, but for now, I'll let you go, Kayla.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for your insights and for being a part of this day and being on with us for that. And, Ted, they're going to be doing this entire day, and they hope that it carries on past today, of course, to live more like Kaylee and Maddie, Ethan, and Xana lived their life, and they want to focus. Steve Goncalves told me today he doesn't want the name of the person responsible even brought up. He wants people to remember the names of the victims here, and this is part of that effort, Ted.
Well, that person, we won't say his name, in court tomorrow, and you'll be there for that. A couple different motions be dealt with as this case moves forward. Talk, if you will, a bit about that, what we should expect tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. I do want to back up a little bit and play some sound from Steve Goncalves from today because he talked to me about how difficult it is to celebrate the birthday of Kaylee, her first birthday in heaven, as he said today. So let's listen. How difficult is today?
I try not to think too much about any of the darker side of the aspects. I just try to stay positive. There'll be days where I have to focus on the negativity, but today's not one of them. I'm glad all the families are able to have a day where they can talk to the media and share the nuances about what made their child special. And today's our day, but Xana's probably next.
Yeah, and he, of course, just a tower of strength. I don't know where it comes from. He said he just takes it one day at a time. He really is the backbone of that family, Ted. But tomorrow, as far as tomorrow, he told me for the hearings, he will not be in court. He's going to watch remotely tomorrow. In fact, the family attorney, Shannon Gray, who is going to argue one of the motions in the morning, is also just going to Zoom in. He said, this is what Steve told me, Ted. It's summertime here in Idaho. We only get about 3 months of summertime, so you have to use this time when it's warm and sunshine wisely. So they're going to take advantage of Zooming in tomorrow. But it will be an important day as far as this gag order. And that's an issue that's important to Steve Goncalves because he believes the truth needs to be out there. He wants the public to see the evidence that they have. He doesn't understand why the defense would think, or the prosecution would think, that would contaminate the jury in any way. So in the morning, his attorney is going to argue to clarify or amend that non-dissemination or gag order that this judge put in place several months ago. And then later in the afternoon, the press, the media coalition, who they're trying to vacate this gag order altogether, calling it unconstitutional. That will also be argued inside the courtroom tomorrow. We will be there. Our cameras will be there, but the defense is trying to ban our cameras, Ted. Steve Goncalves is also against that issue. Let's take a listen.
If you're not a personable person and you give off weird vibes, yeah, you probably don't want nobody to actually see the truth, see who you are, and read you for how you behave. You can't hide the truth, man. I'm so tired of the secretive and all that stuff. I want this stuff to be out in the open. There's more than enough evidence for people to make a decision, and how can the truth contaminate anything?
So we shall see what the judge does tomorrow. Again, tomorrow we will be a couple hours south of here in Moscow for those important hearings, Ted. We expect Bryan Kohberger to also be in the courtroom.
All right. Great job today, Chanley. It's very emotional. I can't imagine what the family is going through on a day like today. A birthday is a trigger, and this is a birthday they don't have Kaylee with them, but out there trying to make a positive difference. Chanley, thank you. We'll be checking in with Chanley throughout the day and have more from Steve Goncalves and her interview with him throughout the day here on Court TV as we look forward to tomorrow's hearing. Josh Schiffer and Jack Rice still with us. Jack, to you first on this idea that the defense doesn't want cameras, and the prosecution is sort of iffy, saying at the end of the day it's up to the court, but they seems like they're not big fans of it. From the victim family members' point of view, bring it on. They want people to see what this person allegedly did. Why is it, do you think, and we went through this with the Lori Vallow scenario, and they ended up banning cameras. What's the problem? What's the mentality, do you think, of the players involved, prosecutors and sometimes judges and defense attorneys that, no cameras, what do you think is behind that? I know what they argue, but what do you really think is going on?
What they're afraid of, and let's stay with the defense for a second. The reason the defense is afraid of cameras in this case is because what they really want is they're trying to find, and the terms they're usually going to use is a fair and impartial jury. And the fear is that if all of this evidence and all these little pieces come rolling out, what it's going to do is it's going to convince everybody in the room before the doors even open that that guy did it. And what they're hoping for is to get somebody who can sit back and say, okay, let's look at all the evidence as it's presented in the courtroom. Because I can tell you the difference between what we see in the world and what actually gets to the jury itself is sometimes very different. And they're struggling in this case because there is a lot of evidence. And there's a lot that could come in everywhere from Washington to Idaho to scrubbing across the country all the way to Pennsylvania and everything in between. And if all of those pieces come together, including triangulation and where the cars are and where the eyewitnesses are and the DNA and the knife and everything else, or the knife sheath anyway, all of that is going to make it almost impossible to get one of those jurors or 12 of those jurors to come in and say, yeah, I'll wait and see what gets presented. That's really their argument.
And Josh, in their motion, the defense pointed out that every time he's in court and there's video of it, the media or people online, they're calling him a creep, or look at his eyes, or he's dead behind those eyes. And sometimes there's body language experts analyzing, well, yeah, he looks like he's blank. He looks like he's blank. Do they have a point that because there is so much interest here that there could be some damage to his rights?
Absolutely. The integrity of the system is the ostensible issue at hand. And the state, the defense, and the court have a public obligation to ensure the integrity of our criminal justice system. But at the same time, despite their best intentions, they're showing everybody that the criminal justice system isn't an experiment in openness and transparency. It's an exercise in secrecy. It's an exercise in keeping information away from people, only giving certain information at certain times in a regulated manner in order to produce what is ostensibly and hopefully a fair result. And there are big problems with overexposing certain issues in the criminal justice system, especially victims, things like that. What we're seeing going on in the Peterson case, for example, where someone might have wanted some secrecy or privacy or confidentiality. The people in a case such as Kohberger, they don't get any of that. And everybody's talking about how much more victimization is going to happen to the families of these murder victims during this trial. So there's really very valid justifications to not overexpose it. That's balanced, though, with the natural interest of everybody else in the country wanting to know how our criminal justice system works, wanting to ensure the integrity of our courts, of our police, of the defense. We have a natural interest in that, and it's really important that we know what's going on. and hopefully the courts are going to regulate this appropriately. I feel with the public issues at hand, we need more transparency in this case, even if it makes it more difficult for the state to successfully chase a death penalty.
Yeah, and you do have the jury selection process, which hopefully can eliminate some of the issues that are being brought up by the defense. We'll see what